The following video contains scenes of police brutality and excessive force. Viewer discretion is advised. Police brutality is the scourge of the earth, gratuitous violence under the guise of order, a cursed existence for some doomed at birth. Fatal decisions means their lives are cut shorter. The cream of the crop, the finest in blue, make grievous decisions they can't undo.
And so, welcome once again to my channel, Stop Effing Killing. I'm your host, the MOD, also known as the Method of Delivery. If you hear anything that resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, this is part 2 of today's topic, which is police brutality, color of law, or the love of violence. And in part 2, we're going to talk about things that we can do as citizens to try to prevent being victims of police brutality, which brutality is defined as excessive or unnecessary force. Now, I want to again emphasize that all law enforcement is not bad. I've worked with law enforcement, and I've worked with excellent exemplary officers, and I've also worked with criminals. On top of that, I don't know all law enforcement that exists, let alone in my city, state, or town, or in the world. I don't know all law enforcement. Therefore, I cannot say that all law enforcement is bad. No one can say that. Having said that, the only things that are guaranteed in this life are that at some point we will expire and we will pay taxes in our respective countries. Those are the only things that are guaranteed. So these 8 tips may, and I want to emphasize may, help you to avoid incidents of police brutality. And the first tip is to obey the law. Obey the law. When you drive, do you obey the rules of the road? Don't steal. Don't fight. Don't rob people. Just obey the law. It's as simple as that. If you obey the law, you won't draw the attention of law enforcement in most cases. Obey the law. Number 2, safely walk, run, or drive from deteriorating situations. Situations like domestic violence situations, road rage incidents, fights, riots. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with peaceable protesting. If you're protesting, there's nothing wrong with having disagreements with people. But when you see a situation is deteriorating to the point where law enforcement will more than likely be notified and intervene, get away from those situations in a hurry. You don't want to get caught up in the aftermath of police intervention. Another thing about law enforcement, when they intervene in these types of situations, a lot of times they act on bad information. They get conflicting statements from people who call in. Sometimes the dispatcher gives them bad information. And so a lot of times when they come to these scenes, especially if they're extremely chaotic, they don't know who's friend, they don't know who's foe, they don't know who's victims, witnesses, suspects. They don't know any of that. So many times they treat everybody the same. So best thing is, when you see something going bad, get the hell out of there. Get away from it. Number 3, safely document police encounters if possible. If you can afford a dash cam for your car, buy one. If you can safely record an officer from a distance with your cell phone, do it. Go on Facebook Live. What you don't want to do is run up to an officer or officers while they're effecting an arrest, while they're conducting a traffic stop, while they're conducting official police business. You don't want to run up to them with your cell phone camera and stick it in their face. First of all, you are actually interfering in their activities, whether lawful or unlawful. And you want to be a witness. You don't want to be an intricate part of the story. So do it if it's safe to do so. Number 4, obey police commands. If the police tell you step back, step back. If the police tell you to keep your hands on the steering wheel, keep your hands on the steering wheel. If they tell you to put your hands on top of your head, put your hands on top of your head. Now, if there are multiple police officers yelling commands at you, say, hey, I'm receiving multiple conflicting commands. Which one do you want me to do? Do you want me to put my hands on top of my head? Do you want me to get on the ground? Have them clarify what they want you to do. The next thing is, if you have a warrant, please, for the love of God, turn yourself in. Turn yourself in on your terms. Go to your local sheriff department, your local police department, your local law enforcement agency, and turn yourself in. Don't put it in the hands of law enforcement to dictate when and where you turn yourself in, because you may find yourself in a dark alley with no cameras, with no surveillance, with an officer who has ill intent in his or her heart. Turn yourself in. Number 6, do not under any circumstances resist arrest. This includes running. Don't resist arrest. Be compliant. Your goal in any police encounter is to live to tell about it. That is your goal, is to live to tell about it. So if you, run, if you fight, any of those things, just understand that there are consequences to that. And you don't want to suffer unnecessary or escalated force because of your actions. So don't resist arrest. If you feel like you were unlawfully arrested, live to tell about it. File a formal complaint. Go to news media. Go to social media. Consult with a lawyer that specializes in civil law. But don't resist arrest. Number 7, try to avoid police contact at all costs. The thing is, the best defense to any situation that may be violent or confrontational is to not be there. That is the best defense. If you're not there, there's nothing that the police can do to you. Now, this doesn't mean that if you commit a crime that you run away. This doesn't mean that. What I'm saying is, do things, conduct yourself in your daily life to try to avoid police contact. And finally, number 8 is stay calm. Stay calm. No matter what the situation, try your best to stay calm. If you have warrants, tell the police, hey, I have warrants. If you have a firearm on you or close to you, let the police know in a calm manner, officer, I'm a licensed permit holder. I have a firearm. Or officer, I have a legally owned firearm. Wherever that firearm may be, tell them, say, hey, officers, I have drugs on me. I have a small amount of drugs. Officer, my license is suspended. These confessions go a long way towards building rapport with officers. Why is that? Because a lot of times when you don't tell officers these things, they feel like you're trying to deceive them, or you're being deceptive, or you're not disclosing things that may affect their safety or their health. Again, number 1, all law enforcement is not bad. All law enforcement is not bad. Number 2, we can do things to help circumvent some of the police brutality, the use of unnecessary or unwarranted force in our communities. And finally, thank you for listening to me. Be safe out there. And just remember, there is no you, there is no me, There is only we, and we must stop the effing killing. Thank you.